Disney's version of Grand Admiral Thrawn, you know, the Grand Admiral Thrawn that you see in Ahsoka and Rebels, that's not the real Thrawn. And according to Timothy Zahn, you know, the guy who actually created him and created Heir to the Empire, just revealed that he had zero creative control over how Thrawn was portrayed. And we have the proof to back it up. Austin, roll the clip.
Sadly, not involved at all. They have occasionally told me something they're going to do a week or so ahead of airing, but I've offered assistance, and so far they haven't taken me up on it.
Right there, you can see that Timothy Zahn is sharing his regrets for, you know, essentially him not getting the option to have any input into the character, the beloved character, Grand Admiral Thrawn, that he created back in the 90s with Heir to the Empire. And that Heir to the Empire trilogy is some of the most beloved Star Wars ever created. People wanted the sequels to be that. And so when Thrawn came into the animation and came into live action, we were hoping that we were going to get that Thrawn. And I'm one of the few people maybe out there. I actually like the Rebels Thrawn, but it was animated. It was different. The live action Thrawn didn't seem as cold and calculated. It seemed like he was just there as a pawn. He wasn't very smart. The things that Ahsoka was doing was getting by him very quickly. For someone who is the greatest strategic mind in the Empire, it was kind of silly. It was just like they were using him to just progress the plot. I really hope that we're going to get a better Thrawn in the future. But this is just further proof that Disney, Star Wars, Lucasfilm, current Lucasfilm, does not really know what they're doing and does not really respect the creators of these characters or really respects what came before. They're just trying to take characters that George and other people in the expanded universe created and use them for their own plot devices to push their own lore. Even though there's tons of lore out there for them to go off of, tons of scripts already written, and yet they can't even do that. So what are your thoughts? This is just mind-blowing to me.
Yeah, so, you know, the most misleading thing and what's frustrating to me is that Filoni and Favreau marketed Ahsoka and marketed these things as they were utilizing Zahn, and they were actually getting his advice. And it's come out that clearly, if they did meet, they obviously had different ideas of where they wanted to take the live action character, because they parted ways and they didn't use his input whatsoever. And clearly that's evident in Ahsoka, because he's not anything like the actual the books. Yeah. So Zahn had this input. Sounds like they were at odds with the way that they want to take the character. Like you said, they're using it for their own gain, for their own lore, making it and twisting it into the way that fits their storyline. And it sounds like they're going to take Thrawn in a different direction. Now, what direction that is, I'm not sure. We have a big war coming in Ahsoka season 2. Filoni's already, talked about it. So we are going to get some type of war. But is it accurate? Does it depict the Thrawn that we know and the Thrawn that we love and that strategic mind that's 3 steps ahead of everyone else?
Yeah.
I'm not exactly sure, man.
Yeah, I mean, listen, the guy that plays Mikkelsen crushes the voice of this character. He's menacing. I'll give it that. But when Thrawn was talking to Luke, the greatest Jedi in the galaxy at that time of the canon, like, he went toe-to-toe with this powerful Jedi without any powers other than a mind. And, I mean, listen, Ahsoka's a cool character, but she's not smarter than that. And it's very interesting. I don't know, because they're going to use Thrawn with the Dathomir witches. Obviously, Ezra and the New Republic's going to fight him, all that kind of stuff. But it's like, it just doesn't seem like this is the guy that we got in live action, and like he doesn't seem like a big bad Palpatine type. He just seems like a B-side villain at this point. And that's what's frustrating. Those books were iconic, are iconic. I met Timothy Zahn myself at a local Comic-Con a couple years ago, and he kind of shared the same sentiments with me back then, and I was pretty shocked, just because this dude wrote one of the coolest characters in Star Wars.
Yeah. And the most disappointing thing of it all is, like, where's Luke? Where's Luke in all of this? Like, he's an integral part in all of this. Leia's an integral part in all of this. Like, Han is an integral part in all of this. Like, you can't do these stories without those characters. And it's driving me nuts that we're making such a big deal over Ahsoka, which great. She's a great character. Like I really, really liked her in Clone Wars, you know, and I'm not saying do away with her, but they're just getting it wrong, man. Time and time again. Like people are asking for one thing. The stories that were written were successful, like for a reason. And they honored the legacy of George Lucas, in my opinion. And then when you go and do this crap in live action, you're just spitting in the face of tons of fans that grew up with this other Star Wars. Now, people like my kids, well, they're going to know better because I'm going to teach them better. But there's a lot of kids growing up now that the sequels is what they grew up with, and they're having to go back and watch the other ones. And dude, I don't know, man. It's really disappointing. We talk about this time and time again. I feel like we talk about it till we're blue in the face and we sound like just broken records about how it's so disappointing for Disney Star Wars, but they just continue to disappoint us. It's like we take one step forward and 5 steps backwards. So we get a cool episode where we show Clone Wars Anakin Skywalker, one of the coolest things I've ever seen. So thank you, Disney, for doing that. But then you do all this other crap. And it's like, if you know that's what sells and you know people are freaking out about that, it's just like what we talk about in our YouTube. We look back and say, all right, what videos did well and why did they do well?
Yeah.
Why can't Disney do that? Why can't they look back and say, hey, this did well, this did well, this did well. Let's recreate that. Let's build on that. And they just don't do it. And I know they're intelligent, right? Or are they not? I don't know. Maybe they're not. Maybe I'm giving them too much credit.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't know if everybody's intelligent there. If you were, you'd be respecting the source material and respecting Timothy Zahn. Sad to see because at the end of the day, people love this. Those books are some of the most best-selling novels. Even his newer ones that Disney had him write, they're really best-selling. They're good. It makes me, if they're not going to respect that, then they're not going to respect any character like Mara Jade or any of those characters. So,
well, we are left somewhat speechless and don't really have much anything else to say. The apathy is setting in, and I don't want to be that as a Star Wars fan. So there's like an inkling of hope, but it's just dwindling and dwindling and dwindling and dwindling and dwindling. So Star Wars, prove us wrong. I would be overjoyed to say I was wrong. I have no problem saying I'm wrong. We can throw pride out the door. Star Wars, please prove us wrong. But until next time, follow us along for more Star Wars conversations. We are going to be talking a lot more Star Wars in the weeks and months and years to come. We're not going to stop talking about it. So subscribe to our channel. Let us know in the comments what you think. Do you disagree with us? Do you think Thrawn was awesome? That's okay too. You're entitled to your opinion. You can be wrong, but you're entitled to your opinion. Until next time, we are Fandom Fix. See you.